Today I'll show you how to build a website just like this or this, but for your agency, and all completely free. And my favorite part, when someone fills out this form, your voice agent will actually call them and do a demo inside a demo. Here's what that sounds like.
Would you like me to do a quick demo role-playing as your virtual assistant handling calls for your content creation business?
Yes. First, I'll show you how to vibe code your website step by step and make it fully functional. Second, we'll connect it to Make.com and host it completely free on Vercel. And then third, we'll grab a super cheap domain right through Namecheap. Finally, I'll reveal my exact retail agent and the 2 scenarios that power them. By the end, you'll have your full Voice AI agency website live and ready to show clients. And as a bonus, you'll actually learn how to build the exact voice agent I've personally sold for $1,500. One you could sell too. So without further ado, grab a coffee and let's dive in. Start by building this website just using the GPT I put together. It'll make a Voice AI specific website. Hey there. And it will take me through a series of questions. For me, I want it to be cinematic and minimalistic. All right, and this is where I put all the details of my company, AI Solutions. So I'll just do my company. I won't include everything for the sake of time, but I will say what we offer. Would you like a form on the website? So this is where you'd put in the webhook URL. Let's go over to Make.com and just create that webhook URL really quickly. If you haven't already, create a Make.com account. It's very simple. Make.com is basically a connector that connects all these different apps together. So we'll go over here and just create a new scenario. I just want to make a webhook. So custom webhook, take it from here, add, save, copy this address. Now I'm going to just leave this as so. Come back here and paste this, send the form info to here. So every single time someone clicks on the form, call me now, all their phone number information and whatnot will be sent to this webhook. I also want you to include Calendly. So I'll just put in my Calendly link here. Now this is the fun part. Can we add any special effects, buttery page transitions, big sound waves, very futuristic. There it goes. And look at that. Wow. Not bad at all. Very nice, actually. I love these small little icons it added and the pricing. To me, this is very impressive. I mean, you can quickly see why I love this so much, but I have to level with you. When you try to edit this, it becomes a pain. I've worked around it just by brute force sometimes, but if you want to save time, you can take all of this code and put it into Lovable and it'll be faster to edit and iterate. However, if it is pretty close to something you want already, what I recommend doing is just finagling with the AI a little bit. The way I would best do that, let's say I need to edit something. If I click on these buttons, for instance, they're not working. First things first, do not change any of the original code. Only make sure that, I'll take a screenshot here, this section is mapped and clickable. And that should be it. Change nothing else or you are fired. Now we'll go through and edit it. Let's see how it did. If we hit preview, we can see, and let's click them. All right, and there it worked. Now, I have to point out that if it goes over 1,000 lines of code, it will say that the document has exceeded its maximum length, in which case you won't be able to continue editing it. In that case, you would actually have to use Lovable or something of the sort. Now, my belief to you is this: in most cases, you're not going to have to worry about that because your website is not going to need more than 1,000 lines of code. Also, it's worth mentioning that if you want to add any sort of images, like I've done here on my website, or maybe you even want to add like this little recording of a voice agent playing, the best way to do that is just to ask it here how to add images. And what it'll do, it'll make a placeholder for you and where you need to put the image. So when you upload the file, just make sure you keep it with that exact same name and it will map it to the place where it belongs in the website. So all right, now let's just move on to taking this code here and deploying it to an actual website. First, you want to go to deploy this over to Vercel. Vercel is basically like a server hosting platform that we'll be using. If you haven't made an account with them, just go ahead and make an account. It's completely free. And then we'll need to set up GitHub. If you've never used GitHub before, GitHub's also free, but GitHub is going to be where we hold all of our code. And then we will then import it using Vercel from GitHub. So I'll go github.com/new. And this will take us to a place where we can create a new repository. I'll go over to my GPT and say, show me now how to deploy on Vercel. And it's trained to know how to do this, and files need to be added. So now it's explaining the folder structure and what we'll need. Unfortunately, we can't just take all of that code and throw it into GitHub. We have to add a few extra folders first, but it's not too difficult, so don't worry at all. Make sure this is for GitHub GUI. Make a folder named oceansideai.site. I'll just put that in here, repository name. And this is what we'll need. We'll need index HTML 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll include another folder, so 6. You already have this in your main code, but put it inside here. So we'll take this package JSON and we'll copy this code here. And we want to make the description for all of this visible, public. We'll get started by just creating a new file and we'll name it. These are just files to ensure that this thing will run. Copy this code in and then we'll hit commit changes. And next file, viteconfig.js. So you want to go hit add file, create new file, paste it. And you're just going to go ahead and do this for each of the files that it gives you. We'll do this for Tailwind. Whenever you hit commit changes, just make sure you always put commit directly to main branch. It's selected by default, so it's no problem. Right over here, add file, create new file, like so. So like this, put index.html. And then we want to go and create an SRC folder. So this is going to make it so we can just copy and paste all the code that you originally had AI write for you. Folder right there. Commit changes. And styles. So we need to make a styles folder as well. Styles / the last we'll do is take our entire code here and we'll put it under this. So we want to go to Oceanside SRC right here, add a file, and this is what we're going to call it, oceansite.jsx. And this is going to be everything. So we want to take all of this back over here, right? Copy it and paste it in. I didn't expect everything to go perfectly on first try. Sometimes there'll be some kind of an error. And don't worry about that, that's normal. And now if we go over to Vercel, as we're gonna hit add new, we wanna add a new project. What we wanna do is import from GitHub. So what you do is you'd add a GitHub account. I've already done this, so that's why it's popping up for me. And then you'll hit import just like so. And moment of truth, let's hit deploy. So remember how I said sometimes you'll get errors? Like in my case, I just got an error. And what I'll do, actually just copy and paste all this. Of course, ask another GPT what's wrong, and it will tell us what to fix. I want to include these kinds of flukes in here so that when you get errors, you don't crash out because you know that's part of the process. All right, so it's saying fix, add this dependency to your repo. There we go, commit changes, deploy again. And look at that, congratulations, you've just deployed a new project and we can see our little beautiful website we've made. Continue to the dashboard and now voila, if we click this button and we go to visit site, it takes us to an actual website right here that we've just built in minutes with ChatGPT. Another thing that people like to do is just add a small little thing, a favicon. As you can see, this is the default Vercel favicon, that little tiny black thing with the triangle. It doesn't really look professional, so what I like to do is just go like this and take a little tiny mini screenshot if you're in a pinch and you're in a rush to get this out there. And then what you can do is bring this over to, let's say, ChatGPT and say, how do I add a favicon? It will tell you exactly what you need to do. It's just 2 steps. So this is what you do, take you through it. Go over here to your site and you're gonna add another file. So it's gonna just be called favicon.ico. You wanna make it under public, make a new file here and folder and just type like this, public. Take that little tiny desktop image I made just now, .png. Just like put it right here. Now the last thing you need to do is just go over here to index.html so we can reference it, and right under the head icon right here, and just click this. Just hit commit changes. So the last thing, go over to Namecheap. Unfortunately, this is the only part of the process that actually is going to cost us something. I always like Namecheap because it's the cheapest of any of the domain platforms I've ever used. So I like them. So like for ours, let's say oceans.ai. This is probably going to be an expensive one. Shorter the domain, typically the more expensive, especially if you're in AI. Look at that. That's going to cost us $295,000. I think I'll pass on that. So why don't we just choose oceansai.site, add to cart, checkout. I recommend if you're going to do this for your actual agency, maybe choose one like .io. Sometimes you can find even promo codes, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. And hit pay now. Now we'll go back to Namecheap under accounts, and we want to find our domain that we just bought, which is right here. And there's a few configurations we have to make and we'll be all set. So just like this, go to advanced DNS and we're gonna just change a few things. So where it says CNAME record, CNAME Vercel. So it will link up to Vercel just like that. And then for this right here, we want to change this to a record, this IP address right here. Now just check mark both of these like this to save your changes. We'll come right over here to projects, site manage domains. Just want to add a new domain. And then we'll just put the name of our domain. Now it will take a few seconds for the records to apply, but it looks like it's working. And if we refresh the site, it might actually have been added already. So we can hit domains, there it is. Let's go ahead and check the site on our own and hit oceansai.site. type it in, and beautiful. Look, it just took us to our website, and you can send that link obviously to anyone you want, and it is working. And there you have it. I mean, that's 99 cents per year for the entire net cost of this. And remember when we used to pay Wix like 30 bucks a month just to host it on their platform, and then more for the domain itself? I mean, that's incredible. So next we'll configure the Retail AI agent, and then we'll configure the Make.com scenarios as well. Also, if you want to continue vibe editing your website, I did put together a little tiny website I made to help you with this vibe coding process. Sometimes it's hard to find, the right style you're looking for. So maybe it'll help you along this process. To Make.com. So remember this thing that we connected, this webhook over here. We need to make sure that the webhook is actually firing correctly. Now it should be, I haven't tested it yet, so we'll see how it goes. What I'll do is hit run once, and we'll fill out our information just like we would if this was someone on our website wanting to get a demo. Submit request. Now, there we go, and it came through successfully. That is beautiful, and that's exactly what we want. Now we're gonna use that to trigger this call. Here's how. Take the webhook, go over here to phone number, and we're just gonna parse a phone number. First, it will take our phone numbers and it will parse them for us. No matter what format someone uses, it will always give us the nice format that we want, but it will also protect us from attacks. This is kind of acting like a geo restrictor. So if I hit save here, that way someone who's putting in like a number from India is not going to be able to trigger our agent to do outbound calling. So next what I'll add is just a Google Sheets. This is our way of capturing the leads that we get through our website. I'm keeping it very bare bones, but I'm just gonna add an add a row function and connect it to the Google Sheets you want. So in this case, what I'll do is create a new Google Sheets. So I'll just go over to my Google account that's associated with my Make.com, call it something like leads for Oceanside, come back over here, connect this one, hit leads, and it should be set. Okay, sheet 1, and I'll just map my variables. So I want at the beginning, I want the name of the caller. This is important for our post-call analysis later on. Their email, phone, website, company. Actually, I'll take off source here. I can just put it like this. Okay. It's just basic information. Remember I told you we can use this as a filter, geo restrictor? What I'll do is make this so it filters for only US numbers or whatever country you're parsing for. And the way I'll do that is just by taking this right here, country, and it needs to be equal to US. So if I parse it, we'll do create a phone call. And this is what you do. So you'd add an account if you haven't done this already. You go add right up here, get your API key from Retail. So go over to Retail AI, go over here to settings, grab your API keys, create a new key, test, and just like so you can go and hit copy right like this. Once you've copied that key, paste it in here, save, and now you'll be connected. I've already done mine, so it's all set. Then what we'll do is configure this with the number that's calling from our agent. So let's go ahead and create our agent, and then everything will make sense. The only thing I'll configure right now here is the phone number. So instead of putting the 2 number as the number that came directly through the webhook, what I'll do instead is put the 2 number as the one that was parsed successfully, because I want the one in E.164 format, which is this one right here. That's the only one that will work with Retail. So I'll put that there. And if I'm doing any dynamic variables, which in this case I am, so I'll pass a dynamic variable, which will be name. So this will be the person's first name, and then we'll put value, name. If you're gonna publish this everywhere, you need to add some sort of protection. This is the exact same setup that I got attacked with about last couple months. You can see my last video on it over here. And what I had to do is actually change my scenario and make it a lot more complex and turn it into something like this that's hardened so that it can detect attackers, notify me, and do lots of other things that I can't actually talk about. I would recommend you can get access to this if you join my community. I'm very selective with who I give it out to. Just keep in mind that what I'm showing you isn't the safest way to build this system out, although it will work. So we'll head over to Retail AI, and if you've never created an account with them, feel free to create one with my link below. Basically what we'll do is just create a demo agent. I've already made mine, so I'll show you how it works. You can get full access to this exact agent and just replace Oceanside AI with your company name. It's all in my community below. I've perfected this prompt to seriously impress people.
Hey Mark, I'm doing well, thanks for asking. How's your day been so far? I'm curious, how did you hear about Oceanside AI Solutions?
I just heard about it from YouTube.
Absolutely. So at Oceanside AI Solutions, we specialize in building 24/7 AI voice agents that can answer calls, qualify leads, and even schedule appointments for businesses. Is there a particular industry or challenge you're thinking about where AI might help you out?
Yeah, in education.
Great. Let's do a quick demo. I'll pretend to be your receptionist for an education center. You can be a parent or student calling in, and I'll take the call just like our AI would. Ready? Thank you for calling Bright Future Learning Center. This is Monica. How can I help you today?
Hey Monica, I just want an explanation why my son got an F in his math class.
Thank you for reaching out about your son's math grade. I'm here to help. I can connect you with the math teacher or schedule a meeting for you to discuss his progress in detail.
Well-
Would you prefer what I can do right now is flag this as urgent and get a counselor or administrator to reach out to you
Okay,
as soon as
thank you.
possible to discuss.
So that's what it does really well, is the demo inside of a demo. And for some reason, it really impresses people to see their industry live on display talking to the AI voice agent. It just makes the entire possibility of using AI voice agents for their company come to life. I'll walk you through the prompt really quickly. Functions, just an end call function, no knowledge base for this. Speech settings, very quick. I have some back channeling. I think the thing that makes this really good is we have denoising enabled, remove noise plus background speech. That really improved the agent for us. Of course, since this is an outbound agent, you want to have hang up if reaching voicemail so it doesn't waste any time. And then post call analysis. Now, this is, I think, a must for your agent. For me, what I've configured this to be is for the lead info, describe in one sentence how they heard about us, if what their intent is. This is kind of a cool one. Gauge on a scale 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, how serious of a potential buyer they are, and industry, what were they interested in this case, education. Something else that makes this agent stand out is just by using 4.1 mini fast tier, so the latency doesn't fluctuate. The voice here, CMO, is really good. I've included Monica is a warm, approachable, and slightly casual representative of Oceanside AI. You can pause here and read this. She can also enter industry-specific demo mode, role-playing as a receptionist, and whatnot. Then she has different skills, certain rules, and then it keeps going and I add some extra examples. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details. Lots of times people doubt whether these voice agents can actually work well. And so when they get a call, and moreover the AI first acknowledges them by their name, and then it pretends to work in their industry and uses terms and verbiage that would only work in their industry, they end up being very impressed with the overall result. It's a great way to persuade and convince them to buy your product. So that's all I'll say about this. So now all that's left to do is connect this to a phone number. I'll go right over here, hit phone number, and I'll grab this one, hit copy, put the from number, the exact number that we're going to be using. So you just want to make sure that this phone number is tied to this outbound demo agent we just made. That way, that's how Retail AI is going to be identifying this agent with our phone number. Also make sure that the dynamic variable you're using is the same one that you're sending over, the reference for it, that is. So in this case, we're using first name, just like this, first name, like so. And then it will send over the name, obviously, that comes through the form. And we'll just hit run. And now once this thing runs, I'll go back to my form and see if it works for me getting a call. So I'll put in my phone number. Notice I'm putting it in whatever format I want, submit request. Can even check if it went through. And yes, it just went through. We can see it place the call and we have an incoming call. So if I click open,
This is Mark.
yes, this is Mark. How are you? The last little tiny step we need to make, of course, is the end call function. So after that call, we want to have our little leads database. We want to make sure that it also updates it with the buyer's intent, other information, a summary of how the call went, and of course a recording. And now I'll show you how to do that. So what you want to do is go over here to create a new scenario, and we'll just create a webhook. If you've never connected retail to Make.com before, it can be a little tricky at first, but once you get it going, it's not hard at all. So let's go ahead and just name our little webhook. We'll call it, copy this address, and this is the address we're going to use. We're going to come right over here and paste it right in here. And what I want to do is just go to my Google Sheets, search a row. Now, the reason we need to search a row instead of update a row is because we need to know which row that we're updating before we update it, obviously. The reason for that is because we can't just have it update an arbitrary row. It has to update the row that's tied to the unique phone number, which we'll be using as the unique identification. Okay. And the way I'm going to search for this is just through this filter phone number. So we want, in this case, this thing equal to phone. And the data that we're looking for will come through the webhook here. So we just want it equal to this webhook. So I'll hit save. And what I'll do before I continue is update this. We'll just do like, this is what you call redetermined data structure. And I'll call the system again, really get it to run, and you'll see how it works. Just to do this quickly, I'll go back over to my other scenario, run this module only, and I'll put in that phone number I just used again. Make sure it's in E.164 format, +1, and we'll hit fire away. And now, as this call's running, I just want to hit redetermine data structure right as I end the call. It's important I do it just like this, otherwise we'll miss the right webhook we're trying to get. So I'm going to hit it really quick. Click back here. There we go. We got it. And that will allow us to get the information we need. So we want to get equal to, and this will give us our to number right here. And remember, equal to the number we're calling as we're searching the rows. And then the last thing we'll do is just add update a row. So once this thing returns, row number will be the row number that's returned. And this is where I'll put in my information. Is a call summary, recording right here, also the transcript. And I'll add some of this post-call analysis, custom information, lead info, intent, and I can just keep going. So I'll keep it at that for now. Hit save. And the last thing I'll do is just add a little filter. Remember I said you have to time it just right. Well, I don't want to have to do that every time. So instead what I'll do is add an event, put equal to case insensitive, call analyzed. What this does is it filters for that webhook that we actually want. Hit save and just make sure this is running continuously. And now when I redo the call in just a second, and there we go. So if we check it out, it processed successfully and updated the information. Also make sure I updated this, that you have like under name, email, phone, then you put the information. Name the row numbers first. Don't just ignore giving them a name, so that you can put that in here under filter for the row number that you're using. Hit save. And one small thing before this is working that will very much irk you if you don't pay attention to this, make sure that you format these all the same, because the way that we're searching for these, it matters. So we want to go to custom format, number format, click this right here. You can make this yourself if you go custom number format, and then just input, depending on your country code or what you're using, what your number should look like in E.164 format, but +1 right here. That way it will always work. So as always, both of these Make.com scenarios will be fully available in the Skool community, along with the one I strongly recommend getting, the hardened demo scenario, so that you can't get hacked with it. On top of that, you'll also get access to the entire Retell AI agent. Like I mentioned, you literally just have to download it and upload it to your Retell AI account, and it will be ready to go. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you got any value from this, I highly appreciate it if you just subscribe, hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow, and join the community. It would be great to meet you. All right, I'll see you in the next one.
Tectonic, where AI finds its voice. Come for the tech, stay for the transformation.